Everyone, welcome back. It is I, DJTurtleVortex, and in this video we're gonna switch things up a little bit from the retrospectate idea that I had. Quite frankly, I don't think it's panning out very well. We'll see how it goes in the future. Anyways, today in this video I wanted to talk about Mr. Fantastic. He is my most played duelist hero. He's also my favorite duelist hero, and quite frankly, he's the one who got me all the way to my latest rank. And going into Season 2, he's going to be going in with a lot of new changes that I wanted to discuss, that I think a lot of people are overlooking into how powerful he's going to be. Because right now, in the current season, March 31st, the hero hot list in the Rivals website actually shows in the platform for PC, competitive, all ranks, all roles, Mr. Fantastic has a 1.69% pick rate. He is incredibly viewed as low tier, which is fine because that's what I always gravitate to. If you see my Dragon Ball Fighters videos, I have low tier character picks. If you look at console for the hero hot list, Mr. Fantastic is hovering at 3.7%, but it's still, the trend is still there. His win rate is half, but either way, I think it's still, the pick rate is the most important part because win rate doesn't really tell the whole story. So going into the Season 2 changes, we're going to start from the top, and then we're going to make our way down to the bottom. It says, we're enhancing Reed's capabilities while making some balance adjustments to his ultimate energy charge rate, adding additional controllability, and optimizing the release experience of his ultimate ability. So the first change that they're doing is increasing his base health from 350 to 375. That is straight up a buff. We don't need to talk anymore about that. So after that, they said they're going to boost the damage of Stretch Punch from 60 to 65 and from 75 to 80 while inflated state. That is huge. That 5 damage is enormous. Any damage number increase is enormous for Mr. Fantastic, quite frankly. But this is probably the greatest change for this season. Flexible elongation, new effect. Enemies within range now suffer a 35% slow effect. And they've reduced the flexible elongation cooldown downtime from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. So they're reverting the Season 1.5 change that they did where they increased the cooldown. You have to remember that the flexible elongation also has a push, a little bit of a push that they added in 1.5. And now that is also going to add enemies within range. So it's not just the target, it's also an AoE slow. That is ridiculously strong. Mr. Fantastic is going to be amazing against anyone who wants to dive him. So if anybody has problems with Spider-Man, and I guarantee you Namor will be banned many times this coming season, Mr. Fantastic and Penny Parker and a whole slew of new characters for this season are going to be great against that kind of dive playstyle. Not necessarily dive heroes, but dive playstyles, which is really good. So going down after that, they are reducing the elasticity gained from elastic strength from 30 to 20. While the elasticity provided by Stretch Punch is increased from 5 to 8, after entering the inflated state, the bonus health provided to self has been reduced from 450 to 400. So let's kind of back up and go one by one. Let's start with the elasticity change from 30 to 20. This is you will feel this nerf. You will feel this nerf when you play him in Season 2. Why? Because right now in 1.5, all it takes is one rotation of abilities and 2 punches to get to your inflated state, which is very quick. Very quick, you can go inflated. And in fact, if your spawn point is very close to the objective, whether it's domination or whatever the payload maps are called in this game, you could actually, in the first fight or in the first elongation you do, easily reach 100. In fact, I'll have footage showing that I reach 100 elasticity almost immediately. But now that they've reduced it to 20, it's going to take more than a single rotation. Even if they improved the Stretch Punch bonus that you get from 5 to 8, the elasticity nerf, it's still 10. You're losing 30 elasticity, which is huge. So not only that, but they've also reduced the bonus health that you've received in the inflated state. This is in the inflated state. So your base health is still higher. You'll still get 150 from shields from using your elongation. So in a way, it's kind of mitigated. It kind of isn't. The math is there, and your bonus HP will have a little bit of, like, I think a 25% reduction, 25 HP reduction, which isn't, you know, you're trading 25 HP for 5 damage in regular mode and in inflated mode, which is still big, and a slow buff. So take what you can get. They always compensate with Mr. Fantastic changes. If they're gonna change one way, they're also gonna reduce him in another way. You've seen that with 1.5. They've reduced his cooldown, but they've also added a couple of extra abilities for it. I mean, to be honest with you, as long as they don't change the rectangular rubber move, I think we'll be okay. Unless they make it better, I'd like that. So, I think it's a good compensation to have. They want you to play a little bit more as a duelist, and they want you to rely less on the inflated state, but they still want to reward the inflated state by increasing the damage that it deals. Now, the last change is a quality of life change, but it's also an incredible change overall for Mr. Fantastic. When Mr. Fantastic uses Brainiac Bounce, his ultimate, he immediately gains bonus health equal to that when gained when entering inflated state. So now, in 1.5, you have to kind of build up to your inflated state to survive using your ultimate, I should say. Because if you just use your ultimate as it is, you'll only have 350 HP, and you'll get melted fairly easily by at least 2 people just looking at you, right? But now, you can just use your ultimate without having that consideration of, oh, I have to build up my inflated state, and then I have to go. This adds that process of, like, less thinking. You don't have to deliberate on it. You don't have to work towards using your ultimate. You can just use your ultimate, which is much better for Mr. Fantastic, because there are many clips that, and I'll be able to show you, where I want to use my ultimate, but I have to build up my elasticity and get into inflated to survive using it, because I want to slow everyone down so they don't retreat, and I also want to damage everybody with as much hits as I can so that my team can eliminate all the enemies. So, kind of comparing Season 1.5 Fantastic to Season 2 Fantastic, I think this Season 2 Fantastic is going to be much more lethal. I think his pick rate is going to be much higher. I think he's going to be really good against divers, or at the very least, he's going to be really good at protecting his supports or his tank, depending on what playstyle you want to choose. I think they haven't changed the team up with Susan Storm, Invisible Woman, so that's also going to be really good. He's going to have that extra HP whenever you're going into fights. Yeah, Mr. Fantastic going into Season 2, I think is huge. I think it's going to be incredible. And I think he's very slept on. So anybody who's a Mr. Fantastic main, come Season 2, you guys will get your time under the sun. I certainly have this season, and I cannot wait to see how far I can take him next season. I am really excited for where he's going to go. I just hope that they don't nerf him come Season 2.5, because if their changes in 1.5 were heavy-handed, in my opinion, from his release date, then I do not know what they're gonna do with the inflated or the damage that he'll receive. But I do like this new state that we're gonna be going into for Mr. Fantastic. So, thank you everybody for coming in to my little Mr. Fantastic talk. Leave a comment down below for any insights or additional kind of things that I might have missed when it comes to Mr. Fantastic and some of the new changes in comparison to 1.5. Next video, I plan on talking about Penny Parker, maybe just showing gameplay and seeing what changes she's going to have for Season 2. I think she's also going to be an incredible defender for Season 2, and I think the Season 2 changes for her are actually going to make her offense a little bit more scarier as well. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the retrospectate, but we'll get into that another time. I am streaming again. You can actually see some of my previous streams, and the video in the background right now is probably most likely going to be from that. So thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Share with your friends. See you next time.